I have said that the only thing that can save America from this drift towards internationalism, worldwide socialism, the loss of our national identity, is my slogan, Borders, Language, Culture, and the new Nationalist Party. I would say that a new Nationalist Party could save this country. The only counterpoint to this insane liberalism would be a Nationalist Party. Now, it almost happened with the Tea Party. The Tea Party was the Nationalist Party it was building. It was decimated by the unions and by others. And I remember when it was attacked. It was attacked first by the Congressional Black Caucus, who screamed and yelled at the Tea Party people and lied about them. They said that the Tea Party did this and that. They didn't do any of those things. The Congressional Black Caucus hated the Tea Party. They're on record for it. Then the union thugs came out and said, we're going to take them out and take them down. Then the Democrat Party went after the Tea Party. The very essence of America is the Tea Party. And yet, they were cast as the enemies of America. And yet, these socialists have completely lied about the Tea Party. So getting back to it, so I'm thinking about these World at War series, and I'm watching it, and I realize that most liberals are afraid of nationalism. It's been brainwashed into them to fear nationalists and nationalism. They always come to the same conclusion that nationalism will lead to Hitler. It doesn't always have to lead to Hitler. Sometimes nationalism can lead to national pride and survival. And the opposite of nationalism is international socialism as practiced by Barry Obama. Barry Obama is, by every definition, any intelligent, educated person can tell you he's a socialist. He doesn't have to wear a red beret and tell you he's a socialist. His policies are socialist. He hasn't yet seized all of the heavy industries. He's not Kim Jong-il yet, but he's on the road. His policies are that of socialism, seizing power, seizing property, seizing wealth, attacking wealth, class warfare. Every technique that he and the Chicago mob are using is a mob technique used by the international socialists from day one. It's a very dangerous situation. The only counterpoint to it will be an American Nationalist Party that has a very strict firewall, not going over that line into racism. That's a very important point, which I've said since 1994 when I started in radio. And I believe in borders, language, and culture as the theme of this party. And I also said to myself last night, I couldn't sleep after watching the series, that if I had the time left on earth, I would start the Nationalist Party. It would take approximately 10 years to have an effect on the country. I don't know if there's time for it. The Tea Party was the nascent Nationalist Party. They were looking for a charismatic leader. There was no charismatic leader. There were a few people who could have been the charismatic leader of the Tea Party, but they got locked up in their own ego. They forgot that their mission was not about them. The mission was about the nation. They got lost in their ego, and then they lost their following. And that's what I was thinking about. I was saying, well, okay, but I could still do it. It could still be done. And someone will come along within time who will be the leader of the Nationalist Party. And the theme is simple, borders, language, culture. Steal the slogan, it's mine. My plan is a Nationalist Party, borders, language, culture. Maybe you'll do it. Maybe the Tea Parties will get organized. There'll be a charismatic leader, because there is no one right now. When you say Tea Party, you don't even know who the leader is. There is none. There were a few guys who could have been the leader of a Nationalist Party, but things happened. They got sidetracked. They got egotistical. They didn't know what it was all about. I can name two. Andrew Breitbart had a big following. He was a megalomaniac. He had big events. He didn't have a head for leadership. He had a head for creating controversy and people following him. And the same with Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck had a huge rally, which we must never forget. Compliments to him. But what happened to Glenn Beck? Where did he go? What happened with him? He blew up. He'll make a lot of money, but he forgot that it wasn't about him. He forgot. He thought it was about him. It wasn't about. This is the problem, is that you could lead people, and then when you start to confuse where you're leading them with what you want out of it, then it goes bad. Then you become a preacher who's caught in a car with a young girl. Then you become a preacher caught in a car with a young boy. Then you become Tammy Baker crying on the air with the mascara running down your face. And that's the end of the movement. So you have to be careful. That's all. Let's go to the callers in the audience of the Savage Nation. ABC, WABC in the city of New York. Gail, welcome to the show. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Dr. Savage. I am very angry that there is no one out there on the national scene who is capable of leading the people like myself. I think the Nationalist Party is great.
Yes.
No one out there, and the reason why there's no one out there is because people are afraid.
What are they afraid of? Tell me what they're afraid of.
Well, they see what happened to Sarah Palin. They see what they did to Sarah Palin. They see what they did to Michelle Bachmann. They see what they did to Alan West. They see what they did to Mitt Romney, and Mitt Romney didn't even do anything. And look at what they did to him. They dragged him through the mud.
That's right. The vermin in the media make anyone who stands up to the international socialism that is called politics today a Nazi, in plain English.
Really?
First they start by mocking you and trying to make you into something you're not. Then they take you out of context and they try to turn you into something that you're not. And then they try to decimate and destroy you with lies altogether.
Yes. And people are frightened.
I'm not frightened. How come I do my show every night?
Well,
look, I got to tell you, Gail, let me tell you something. I've been banned in Britain, and I wear it as a badge of honor right now. They smeared me. They took me out of context. The international perverts in England banned me. These are the people who were later thrown out of office for stealing money, and I've never been taken off the list, even by the fake conservatives who are running England. I have paid a big price for my opinion. Don't think I haven't. A lot of things have happened in my career, even in radio over the 18 years, as a result of my strong opinions. I know how these people operate, but if you let them take you down, there's no hope for any of us. So, it starts in a supermarket. It starts at a PTA. It starts with talking about politics on a supermarket line. I've said this for years. When you go through a supermarket checkout line and you see the National Enquirer or these other tabloids, it's a convenient place to express your political view. When they try to show Obama and Michelle as the great gods that they aren't. You could say something to the cashier who'll not answer you, of course. You're not alone. You're not as alone as they make you think you are. You're actually the majority in this country. Do you know that? Do you know that you're actually the majority in this country?